Alright guys, so I just want to talk a little bit about the Cannonball motor 2406. This is basically this V2 version 2. What we got, the difference, this is the version 1, is basically we've got an updated bell design. I think this is a much more modern look. To me this is starting to feel a little dated, and this just looks really nice. And of course we've got another kV option available now, and this one here we've got a 2330 as well as the 2020 kV like in the original V1. And basically the reason why I chose to add that little bit extra more kV option is because it seems to be that you can get just about the same performance as as a 6S rig. You can go down to 5S, get the matching kV, which is roughly about very close, very similar. These actually came in tested, the true kVs, right around 1940. So if you do the math, it's very, very similar in the 2300 range if you drop down to a 5S. And again, the reasoning is basically when you're going all out for racing, there seems to be, like, I would think, at least in my experience, and especially with some of the top racers, it seems that a little bit lower voltage seems to have a positive effect on your gear, on the basically the life cycle of it. It's not as susceptible to voltage spikes when you crash, or when a prop suddenly stops if you hit a gate, stuff like that. And it just seems like it's a little bit nicer on the ESCs, on all the voltage regulators, on the flight controllers that are taking direct LiPo voltage, VTX, cameras, anything that basically that's running straight off the battery just seems to have an easier time, as you're not really taking it up those massive spikes, either when you're punching out or when you come to a sudden stop, like I do often. Anyways, so a little bit of the specs. So basically these two motors are identical. They are identical specs. However, obviously this has an updated design, and because of that new design, so first of all, these wires are cut to my the length to fit in my my smooth operator 6-inch frame. That's where I took them off, and basically I just matched on this new one. So basically this wire length will give you enough to a 4-in-1 to a 6-inch quad. And what you can see here is I'm going to show you that there's an improvement as well in this new version. So here we have the Cannonball V1 with basically wire length cut to 4-in-1 ESC to reach 6-inch arms. 33.2 grams is what we're looking at. And on this V2, you are gonna see a nice improvement. You're looking at basically 0.7 grams. That's really, really good. I mean, that's a huge drop in the weight. And for reference, here is a 2207 motor. This is a Hype Train motor. For reference, that is 33.6, so even heavier than the V1. And remember that the 2406 size has roughly, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 7% more stator volume than a 2207. So not only are you getting a lighter motor, you're getting more stator volume, which means more power. And one of the things that I've noticed is 24 surface area size here on the bell versus like a 22. You get, if the math is correct, about 20% more surface area, which means you can move more air in and around the bell, into the windings, etc. And basically what it looks like, what that means when you're flying really hard and you're trying to get the most out of your setups, it's just there's just less heat in the motor just because it's moving more air or whatever the cost may be, or maybe it's just because it's got more mechanical leverage and it doesn't rely on amp draw to create power. I'm not sure why the reasoning is, but they are consistently coming down much cooler than any other motor with the equivalent kV in a smaller kind of 2207, 0.5 size. So that to me is a huge plus, especially as we experiment with all this new filtering technology, like Flight One using Falco X, and crazy aggressive filters and RPM filtering and all that jazz. So definitely something that I really like. Oh, Milo doesn't like that. Anyway, yeah, to reiterate, same exact specs. Basically, you're looking, 2406 stator, the option of 2330 kV. That could work for 4S as well, and 2020 kV. You got obviously the nice lip on the bottom to hold the magnets in place, from slipping. I've never had an issue with that, but I've heard from pilots that is maybe an issue. So anyway, it's just nice to have, basically the high specs you can get out of, current motors, and these perform fantastic. I have it from a couple of pilots that I've sent these to. They've told me that's pretty much the most powerful motor they've ever tried, in a comparable size, which is really good feedback. So hopefully we start seeing this size motor be more and more popular, as I think there's definitely some efficiency advantages. Trying to keep the weight down, making more power, keeping the motor cooler, and if you're looking at alternative KV options, to help your gear last longer, trying to help you guys out there as well. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoy it.